beautiful view. Let's play some ball.
Avery Williams on the return. First and 10 for the Broncos at the 18, but a flag is down to the opening kickoff.
Well, you can see Carter all hyped up there, and I had an opportunity to call actually the Vikings and Colts game back in September. This is the first college game that I've called this year. Completely empty stadium here. The term that the NFL players were using was, you got to find a way to bring your own juice. You got to bring your own excitement, and you could see it from that young man right there.
Usually 36,000 packed into this place on Saturdays. Mike Catone, our head referee today. And so here we go.
Well, this is the theme that we've seen in watching some of these other conferences play at the beginning of the year. Some mistakes on special teams, a hold right there. Remember, these guys aren't going full live on special teams in practice. It's the first time that they have somebody live running at them. A little bit of hold there, and that puts Boise State in a bit of a backed-up situation.
From just south of the 10, and here is our first look at Hank Bachmeier and George Holani. This dynamic duo from a season ago. Minimal gain on first down. Holani had a fantastic freshman year for the Broncos.
Yeah, he sure did. And in this game against Utah State a year ago, 176 yards on 16 carries. New defensive coordinator with Frankie Maile. Believe me, Utah State is going to be focusing on George Holani. You're going to see a lot of movement from that front, trying to confuse a lot of new offensive linemen for Boise State.
Holani, the centerpiece of this offense, takes the handoff on second down. Short gain. Third down coming up. Boise State coming off of that 12-win season, a Mountain West Conference championship. John Ojukwu, the only returning starter on this line with any real experience. Plenty of weapons for Bachmeier this season. Khalil Shakir, of course, had the breakout season a year ago. Holani became the first freshman in program history to run for more than 1,000 yards. So 3rd and 6 on the opening possession. Holani motions. Bachmeier looking his way. Caught.
Just short of a first down out there. This is one of those plays where Holani's got to know, I got to try and find the sticks. I got to try and find the sticks. Because with that throw from Bachmeier right there, no opportunity to run after the catch. He gets to that first down distance, that would have been a first down.
And instead, it's a punt on the first possession.
And that's just one of those things. You have a tendency, first time you're in live action, a younger back like that, even in his second season, he breaks off that route just a little bit early when he sees the man coverage.
Fair catch across midfield. Jordan Nathan signals for it. And the Aggies on offense for the first time today. So that means first game action for Jason Shelley as a Utah State Aggie. The former Utah Ute leaves the program in February, transfers here officially in July, won the starting quarterback job this week.
Yeah, and of course a little bit of familiarity between Gary Anderson and that Utah staff with Kyle Whittingham. Gary Anderson had been down there as an associate head coach and D-line coach back in 2018. But Shelley, remember what he was able to do for Utah, starting the last 5 games of the season in 18.
A drop snap on the first play, and Jalen Warren pounces on it.
And you're going to see Shelley just kind of takes his eyes off of this one because of the motion. He's going to try and get this handoff, try and get that ball in there just a little bit too quick. Again, just these timing issues at the start of a season, your first live action, even in an empty stadium, your mind speeds up a little bit.
The last few months of practice preparing for this season has been so erratic for all of these teams. Shelley hauls it downfield incomplete, and so it sets up 3rd and 13. A bit more experienced offensive line this year for Utah State. It's no longer blocking for record-breaking quarterback Jordan Love. It'll be Shelley, of course, the starter. He's got some key receivers back. Devin Tompkins is a burner. And then, of course, Bodie Reeder, the first-year offensive coordinator, has raved about this backfield. Jalen Warren and Devontae Henry Cole.
Yeah, remember Jalen Warren at the beginning of last season against Wake Forest ran for more than 100 yards. Actually had 300 yards rushing in the first few games, but then got a little banged up.
So on 3rd and long. Shelley, and he's sacked. Riley Wimpy, the captain, got to him, making an impact on the first series.
Yeah, Wimpy and Whitney, and these are two of the guys that this staff just absolutely rages about. Good call from defensive coordinator Jeff Schmedding. Gets that pressure look up front, try and confuse that offensive line, get them to commit to a certain look, trying to block it a certain way, and then you bring that pressure from other areas.
New year with same Broncos. Led the league in sacks last year with 40. And this defense should be as sturdy as what Bronco fans remember. Stephen Kutsunley, the Aussie, booms it away. Fair catch at the 21. So 2 possessions, couple of punts. We'll get a better look at Hank Bachmeier 2.0, the California back for his sophomore season at the reins of the offense next. Settle in, just started in Boise. No score, each team has 1 possession, 1 punt. 50 degrees at kickoff. A little soggy and wet earlier, but the weather has really turned out nicely this evening in the Treasure Valley. No fans in Albertson Stadium. Usually 36,000 rocking in this place. We wish you were here, but we got you covered today with Robert Smith, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Second possession for the Broncos. Bachmeier's got some running room. And he gets leveled. That is a sight Bronco fans saw too much of last year. Nice run, big hit.
Yeah, it certainly is something that they're scared about. And this is something new offensive coordinator was wide receiver coach Eric Keesaw told us about Bachmeier that he was working on his slide, protecting himself a little bit more.
Just was able to get out of the way of that Jackson tackle. Makes a hit in the pocket, fires, and that's caught. Khalil Shakir, his favorite target from a year ago.
Khalil Shakir, just a tremendous athlete, very versatile athlete, also throws some passes. You see him taking some jet sweeps, does a nice job going down for that ball. And Bachmeier took a hit just as he was delivering that ball, kind of affected his accuracy. But Shakir did a nice job going down, picking that one up before it hit the blue turf.
Pickup of 14, 1st and 10 at the 42. A lot of motion up front for the Broncos. Kalani, patient run. That may be enough for the first down.
Great job pointing that out, Kevin. It was a nice, patient run right there. Didn't try and cut that one back, stayed front side. Remember Holani going over 1,000 yards last season. That extended the Boise State streak of running backs with 1,000-yard seasons to 11.
He was the first freshman to do it. Here's John Bates, the tight end, with his first catch. Rumbles ahead, back-to-back first downs.
Yeah, just so many weapons in this Boise State offense, and Bates is one of those guys that talked about being more of a quiet leader, but leadership so crucially important in a year of so much uncertainty. And of course what we've got here with empty stands, find a way to get yourself motivated, get out there and make some plays.
Just how uncertain. Neither of these teams knew their week 1 opponent until as late as October 1st. As when the conference released the schedule, an 8-game schedule for these Mountain West Conference teams. Nice pickup on first down. It's the backup tight end, Riley Smith. Bachmeier finding his tight ends.
Nice job here, hitting Riley underneath. Bachmeier did a good job hitting him in stride there. Doesn't have Riley need to slow down at all so he can get more yardage after the catch. And Utah State may want to slow things down, but Boise State certainly doesn't seem like they want to go slow today.
Bachmeier's 4 for 4 on the drive, 4 first downs. They're at the 20. Kalani, a lot of running room. Grayson on the tackle along with Jared Green, who steps in for the injured Troy Lethbridge. Nice run.
Yeah, we've talked about the new faces that they have on this Boise State offensive line. You could see them just creating an entirely new line of scrimmage right there. The push that they're getting is tremendous. Polani 5 yards downfield before he even got touched on that one.
Rather untested Aggies defense as well, with just 4 starters back from a 7-win team. Well, if it's working, go back to Halani. Chips forward for a couple.
Halani's staying in there. We're going to see some of Andrew Van Buren today as well. Good 1-2 punch. But Halani put on a little bit of weight this offseason. Came back stronger. It normally happens with young running backs. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he certainly can tote that rock.
Compact yet powerful. The sophomore for Bellflower, California. Meyer the rollout. Bates. Muscles ahead. Reaching. Looks short.
A little bit of boot action on that one. They get Bates and Riley coming in the same direction here. They covered up Riley coming out of the backfield. Bates open underneath. And again, we talk about the creativity of this offense, and offensive coordinator Eric Keesaw talked about the process, said there's input really from everybody, and they have a lot of fun trying to outthink each other on the gadget plays.
He's engineering a fine drive. Can Halani punch it in?
To get the first down.
So Shelley keeps the Utah license, just has to change the mailing address. He goes 90 minutes up the road from Salt Lake City to Logan. He was 3-2 as a starter at Utah at the tail end of the 2018 season. He just saw his numbers from what he did there. Little flip to Tompkins. Look out for Devin Tompkins, the junior, not just speedy, elusive as well.
You can see that jet sweep action. We're going to see some of that today, and we're going to see some RPO, some run-pass option from Jason Shelley as well. But make no mistake about it, defensive coordinator Jeff Schmedding actually spent some time with offensive coordinator from Utah State, Bodie Reeder, up at Eastern Washington. So a little bit of familiarity there, but he knows you're going to see some zone schemes, some gap schemes, some RPO. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at him today, but they're going to slow it down just a little bit.
2nd and 8, Shelley pumps. He's got to get rid of it. Incomplete. Scott Matlock was breathing down on Shelley, a flag. Shelley, he took a hit while he was getting that one away.
There's no foul for him, downfield.
Pick it up, no foul.
No fouls or ineligible downfield is what they called right there. I might have thought that somebody was covered up or thought they went downfield too far, but you could see him taking the shot from Matlock right there. But the good thing about Jason Shelley, remember back in 2018 when he started for Utah, had 5 touchdowns on the season, but also had 6 interceptions. Good job right there, just getting rid of the football. Live the fight another day. Don't try and force the ball when you don't have to.
All right, you just heard the prior play now under review. And with that hit from Matlock on Shelley, intentional grounding will be the subject of the review.
Yeah, so they're going to look to see if he was outside of the tackle box. Was there a receiver in the area? He doesn't look like he's out of the tackle box, but that's going to be, we're going to have, no.
Watch this hit from Matlock on the play.
So they're going to see if the crown of the helmet is getting in there. Lowering of the helmet, looking for those indicators.
It appears there could be a few items addressed on the replay review. be looking at a potential targeting. That's where you've got to have all the indicators leading with the crown, forcible contact with the head at the head or neck area. Matlock.
Well, yeah, it looked like he drove into his chest. But you see him lowering the helmet, so anytime you make contact with the crown of the helmet, that can be a targeting call. So it doesn't need to be combined with other elements. If you do make contact, forcible contact with the crown of the helmet, that can be called targeting. And look, that's for the safety of the defensive player right there.
Right now, it's 3rd and 8. We'll see what the call is.
After further review, there's no targeting on the play. 3rd down.
No targeting. Shelley and the Aggies have 8 yards to go to pick up the first down. Utah State had a nice little rhythm going to begin the drive. That delays it. Jalen Warren back in at tailback next to Shelley. Rather Tompkins. They swing it to him. Sandwiched and short of the first down. Skinner and Jones combined to make the stop. 4th down and short.
Looks like they're thinking about going for it right here. Tompkins did a nice job on that one. Not the biggest guy in the world, but watch him just lower those shoulder pads. Hey, I know I'm going to take some abuse right here, but try and get it to those sticks. Now they've decided to go ahead and punt it.
Stephen Kutsunley again. Freshman from Melbourne, Australia. Williams, the ever-dangerous return man, calls for the fair catch. It's been contained thus far. The Broncos back on offense, already ahead, 7-zip. So we welcome those who just watched Indiana upset 8th-ranked Penn State. A 2-point conversion does the trick in Bloomington. Welcome to Boise, Idaho. This is week 1 of Mountain West Conference play. The Boise State Broncos, the defending conference champs, with the football already ahead 7-0 with Robert Smith, the former NFL Pro Bowler. I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. George Halani gets the first carry on this drive, already with 1 score today.
Yeah, and Halani, not much yardage on that one. Utah State doesn't want to repeat for those of the audience that are just joining us. They don't want to repeat for what happened with Utah State a year ago with this Boise State team. Halani ran for 176 yards on only 16 carries. They want to try and force Boise State to have to throw today.
It was a 56-21 smashing. There's Hank Bachmeier. Was looking downfield, had to just slide down. Kevin Metzenheimer was breathing down his neck. Alani, on the second possession of the day, punched it in. It was a well-crafted drive. Hank Bachmeier looked good, and Alani ran the ball effectively as well.
Yeah, good mix of the run and pass on that first drive. Looked like that was a little miscommunication on that last play. Expect the unexpected here. We're going to have upsets in college football. We're going to have some timing be off, and it looked like it was for the Broncos on that last play.
Bachmeier otherwise has started 5 of 5. He and Holani, the centerpieces, of course, of the offense. Fires a strike for a first down. It's the tight end again, John Bates.
It's going to be interesting to see the spot on this one.
Looks like he's right at the marker.
See Bates in the slot here. Sorry, here. He can control that ball all the way to the ground anyway. As they say, he became a runner and recovered it himself.
Play clock winding down. A lot of confusion down on the field.
Confusion all over the place. And remember, the refs didn't have a preseason. Of course, the players just figured out, the staffs figured out who they were going to be playing recently. All of this, it's just so new. So the mechanics of all of these different processes on game day.
The ball carrier was short of the first down. Fourth down.
So the initial ruling was just short. Heck, you had the PA voice here a moment ago, and now it's first down. The yardage markers have been reset.
The previous play is under further review.
And, of course, we're going to get a review. That's Mike Catone, our head referee today.
It'll be interesting to see if he had full possession of this ball before he starts going to the ground, because he certainly didn't control the ball all the way to the ground, and you could see it hitting the turf. So it wasn't even a catch. We'll see.
Everything you just brought up a moment ago, remember the Mountain West announced the season would start on October 24th. 1 month ago, these teams didn't find out their first opponent until a week later. Like you said, there was finally a purpose about a month ago about when the season would start, the opponent early on. Lucky for us, we've got Dean Blandino who's going to join us. What's your read on how this one played out?
Yeah, the issue is going to be control, because the line of gain's the 25, and it looks like when the ball comes in right there, it's beyond the 25, and then you have the contact by the defender. And if he maintains that control all the way to the ground like he did, then the progress spot will be a first down. So they're going to have to determine if he maintained that control.
Yeah, it looked like on that last replay there that he did have control of the ball, and then his progress was stopped by the defender on that one. And so they would give him the progress on that, and it would be a first down. Stopped right there. Called the first down on the field, of course, always important to note. Is there clear and convincing evidence there to overturn that? I don't know if there's a reverse angle there that might show the ball, and if he had it secured when the defender comes in and try and knock that thing out, if he started to lose possession of that ball, and you wouldn't be able to give him the forward progress at that point.
Right. Would be the third catch of the day for Bates.
Got Bates involved, Riley involved, working those tight ends. This is what we see from this Boise State offense, trying to distribute the ball.
They can come back to me if they want.
What do you think there, Dean?
Saw that angle.
Oh.
After further review, the ball carrier made the line to gain. It will be Boise State's ball, first and 10 on the 25-yard line.
So there it is, the first down.
So we had control of that ball as he's passed the first down marker, and then was given the forward progress.
Newsted it down to the 25. So Bachmeier, the sophomore from California, remains perfect. Alani hit at the line, finally finished off though, after he picks up nearly 5. Marcus Moore there to make the stop.
Talked about Alani, how he's put on a little bit of weight. You can see he just keeps those legs churning. He's certainly not a huge power back. He's got some power and kind of fills in a long line of running backs that they've had here, all the way back to Ian Johnson, Doug Martin, Jay Ajayi, Alexander Madison. They produce some great backs.
He makes the catch on second down, elusive, and across the 40. And the Broncos are rolling again.
You're going to see Alani just make a great move on Cash Gillian. Just stops the feet, pushes him by. Green tries to make the tackle, runs through the arm tackle right there. Great job of running by the young man.
11 straight years that Boise State has had a 1,000-yard rusher. Shakir shouldered out. Look out for Shakir. Maybe on the outside, a motion to the backfield. Very busy pre-play.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, and you've seen some passes out of Shakir as well as out of C.T. Thomas, the lefty. Boise State always expect the unexpected. We've seen the Statue of Liberty play. They actually did that one in the game last year for a touchdown, just like the Fiesta Bowl victory with Ian Johnson.
Utah State knows it well. Bachmeier unleashes. That is too tall for John Bates. Shaq Bond on the coverage. Boise State attacking a Utah State defense that's got a number of players out today.
Yeah, a number of players out for various reasons, and Bachmeier just a little bit high on that pass to Bates right there. But again, we've seen Bates. He's really been involved with this offense today, really trying to distribute the ball like we've seen so many times on Boise State.
Bachmeier has found a tight end 5 times today. That was his first miss. The preseason Offensive Player of the Year lets it rip again. Shakir dove. Incomplete. 4th down coming up.
Just a little bit off on that one, thrown outside to Shakir. Had his man just off with the accuracy.
Expectations high again for the Broncos and Bachmeier. 12 wins a year ago, conference champs. Expected to be at the top once again. Jordan Nathan is back team.
Young quarterbacks, so many times they just get a little bit ahead of themselves with their mechanics, don't get their feet set the way that they're supposed to, affects the accuracy of the pass. You can see just a little bit wide right there.
Season opener. Boise State ahead 7-zip. Utah State on offense next. Tomorrow on Fox, Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers against Deshaun Watson and the Texans, looking to get to 5-1 on the year. You may also see Dallas against Washington. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Got one former Utah State Aggie, a current member of the Green Bay Packers, of course, using their first-round draft choice, Jordan Love.
Big shock to Aaron Rodgers on that one, too.
Cut to Rodgers' green room. So this is Jason Shelley who takes over for Jordan Love. Jalen Warren on the game. Coach is really high on Warren. So, right, that was a big problem for Gary Anderson to try to solve. Okay, how do I replace the record-breaking Jordan Love? It's the transfer portal. Shelley was leaving Utah, transferred here in July. One thing he was looking for while searching for a new school was, I just want to find a place I can compete to win a starting quarterback job. That's exactly what he did here. He won the job.
Yeah, no question about it. And Shelley ends up coming here because Jake Bentley comes into Utah from South Carolina. It's a new free agency in college football.
A lot went on this summer. 1 quarter of the books. It's great to see football on the blue again. Broncos ahead. Season opener for the Mountain West Conference. Broncos up 7-0. This is a series that Boise State has dominated over the years. Has won 16 of the last 17. Pretty much dominated quarter number 1, outgaining the Aggies 116-12.
Yeah, this Aggie offense obviously has to get something going here. Got that experienced offensive line. You've got some playmakers out there at wide receiver, some experienced guys. Just try and get away, Jason Shelley. Got to get out to the edges, get a little bit of space, maybe get some run-pass option on the outside.
Hand it off to Jalen Warren, too. A nice spin move. Avoids a hit. Riley Wimpy with the tackle. That's now 4 for the captain.
Yeah, and they just raved about that captain, Riley Wimpy, missing the backfield there. Wimpy able to get Warren down to the ground. 3rd and 4 here.
Robert Smith, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Glad to have you with us this Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, man across the board on this one. They're not trying to give any space to anybody.
Shelley uncorks it. Nearly picked off. Good coverage on the play. Markel Reed, stride for stride with a pair of receivers down the sideline.
Well, you can see all these receivers covered up very well. Tried to hit the quick out, couldn't do that, and Markel Reed gets his eyes up to the football. He's able to knock that thing away from Jordan Nathan. Nice job in coverage right there. When you're in phase, when you're actually running with the wide receiver, you can get your head back. As long as you don't let that receiver get away, you get that head back, you can knock that ball away.
Shakir calls for the fair catch. Broncos take it near midfield. This offense looked good in quarter number 1. Hank Bachmeier and the crew takes over. You never know what this Broncos team will throw at you. Come back and see next. We'll keep it here before the Broncos take over.
That was a nice little montage that they had there, though. You could see the Statue of Liberty play, the most recent version of the Statue of Liberty play that was run last year against Utah State in the big victory for the Broncos.
It was Mike Sanford who was the offensive coordinator of the Aggies last year. The prior offensive coordinator, the prior coaching staff of the Broncos, call he's familiar with. Bachmeier down the seam, he's got Shakir. His favorite target from a year ago into the end zone for the first time this season.
Remember that Lethbridge, the top safety, out for Utah State. This is a busted coverage. You're going to see Shakir running wide open on this one, right where Lethbridge would have been.
52-yard catch and run, and that Lethbridge absence is a humongous one. Led this team in tackles, very good safety. 14-0. Succinct drive. One play, 52 yards. Shakir got there in 8 seconds.
That's efficiency for you.
Bachmeier and the Broncos pick it up right where they left off. 2-score lead.
Great.
Yeah, season opener here in Boise. 14-0 lead. Khalil Shakir with a touchdown on the prior drive.
Yeah, it was a great call, a well-timed call by offensive coordinator Eric Keesaw on that one. We're going to draw that up here in a second to show you what the Broncos were able to do.
First and 10 at the 25.
Remember, we talked about Lethbridge being out at the safety spot. Here you're going to see Shaq Bond, and you're going to see the motion right here from C.T. Thomas. They have to get a bump because you've got 3 wide receivers out there now. Shaq Bond tries to stay locked up here near the line of scrimmage, but he has got to take Shakir on this one downfield. If he goes vertical, flat-footed, Shakir able to get home free.
Saw Bond beckoning for some help, but instead, it's Shakir to the house. Here's the defense discussing the prior play. A whistle.
Delay a game. Number 15 in the offense. 5-yard penalty.
And so back him up 5 yards.
Talk about the miscues. It happens in so many ways. All of these little mechanical issues that can happen from the press box to the officiating staff to the players.
This is week 1. Shelley on the run gets rid of it.
And just nowhere to go for Jason Shelley. This secondary for Boise State. These guys getting everybody locked up. Just a tremendous job. And look, the Boise State staff and the numbers will tell you they get some elite players here. They've had players drafted in each of the last 11 drafts, but these guys always play disciplined football.
A pass break up there from Tyreek Jones. to bring up 3rd and 15. This defense, yes, very complete.
See Jones in the slot there. Just a great break on that ball. And does a nice job timing up as well. He doesn't get there too early to Devin Tompkins to draw a flag. But it's just understanding what your alignment is, what your assignment is, and then executing, believing what you see. And that's what Boise State does such a great job of defensively.
Well, even with no fans here, they force some false starts.
And we talked about those communication issues.
Staff infraction, number 58 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Dimitri Ali Ifua. Week 1 game is always a difficult one under normal circumstances. Again, as recent as a little more than a month ago, these teams had no idea who they were playing and if there was even going to be a schedule. Third and 20. Got things straightened out. There goes Tompkins. 4th down. Utah State was just going in the wrong direction there. This will bring out the punt team.
Yeah, and obviously not an ideal situation inside your own 20-yard line, 3rd and 20, and you don't want to take a chance, try and get the ball too far downfield, get a tip pass, interception, put yourself in an even worse hole. Just take your lumps on this one, punt it away.
4 possessions, 4 punts for the Aggies. Just 1 yard. Avery Williams. Fair catch. Boise State back on offense next. Gary Anderson trying to jumpstart his Utah State Aggies. Down by 2 scores. Now time for the season refresh, sponsored by Coors Light. Little bit of a coordinator carousel up in Logan, Utah these last couple of years. So this season, Bodie Reeder takes over, first-year coordinator. It'll be a dual coordinator situation with Stacey Collins and Frank Miley on the defense, but you saw different coordinators each of the last 3 years, both the offense and defensive sides for the Aggies.
Yeah, and of course Matt Wells and his staff are now down at Texas Tech, but you know, for the young players, just trying to get some continuity, some familiarity with a new system. And as we spoke about in the open, bringing in Reeder was really about slowing things down. But what you've seen is really the receivers haven't been able to get any separation from this great secondary that Boise State has.
Utah State with just 27 total yards. Broncos moving again. Stephon Cobbs kept hustling forward. Move the chains.
That was just poor tackling. There were a number of Aggies that had an opportunity to bring him down on that one. And Shaq Bond said they've been doing the tackling. Actually, he said that we've been doing tackling. So clearly they've been doing as much tackling as they do in normal years. But you have to be able to do those kind of things on game day. You can't use arm tackles to try and get these ball carriers down.
1st and 10. And there's a flag.
False start. Number 69 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
So it's Garrett Curran. And the Broncos move back 5 yards. Remember, John Ojukwu, the only returning starter on this offensive line for Brian Harsin.
Yeah, and if you're Frankie Miley, the defensive coordinator for Utah State, this is a double-edged sword. You would think, okay, well, let's try and bring some blitzes, try and create some havoc, make some plays in the backfield, but then you leave yourself exposed on the backside.
So many weapons for Bachmeier. He's scrambling. And he's wrangled up. Good play from Elijah Shelton.
Great open field tackle from Elijah Shelton on this one. Does a nice job breaking down, bringing Bachmeier down. Bachmeier buying all kinds of time right there, keeping his eyes downfield. But a great tackle by Shelton right there. Love it. Wrap him. Get him down.
You just talking about tackling?
Yes, we were just talking about that.
So 2nd and 18 for Bachmeier, who's 9 of 11 through the air. Unleashes this one. Too far. And he had Shakir. He did have a step on Zahadri Jackson. 3rd and long.
Yeah, and Bachmeier just seems to be a little bit off. He should have gotten that ball out a little bit sooner to Shakir. You're going to see Shakir break free on the outside right here. Little stutter, step, and go. He gets that ball out a little bit earlier. And, of course, you got to keep that thing on the table. So he was late, didn't anticipate the throw, and didn't keep it on the field.
For Bachmeier, it's how big of a step forward he takes this year. 7-1 as a starter as a true freshman. Let's face it, he impressed. Injuries slowed him down, though, the second half of last year. Oh, and he is stamped. Another big play for A.J. Vongpachon.
A.J. Vongpachon bringing down Bachmeier in the backfield.
Big time hit from Vongpachon right there. Just splits the lineman. Actually, it was a lineman and Bates. Get a tight end there. You can't leave that kind of space. You finish a tackle by wrapping your arms. You finish a block by moving your feet. You didn't see that from Nick Crabtree, the right tackle on that play.
Not a good punt at all. So Utah State's defense hands the ball back to the offense. Jalen Warren and company trying to get something rolling. They need some first downs. They need to move the offense quick. Fox College football is powered by Ram trucks built to serve. That's not Jason Shelley. Early in the second quarter, Andrew Peasley takes over, trying to spark the offense. He's appeared. One game he's thrown 10 career passes. Hands off to Warren on first down. Rolls ahead. And Robert, you were alluding to this not long ago. Maybe time for a switch. Here comes Peasley.
Oh, and I think sometimes it's not that you've lost all faith in your starter, Jason Shelley. It's just that you feel you go to a guy like Andrew Peasley, and sometimes it can just be the spark that your team needs. Guys block a little bit differently. The wide receivers run their routes a little bit differently. And again, let's be frank, these wide receivers for Utah State just haven't been able to get the separation to allow Jason Shelley to fit some of those passes in up to this point.
And just one first down, 30 yards of total offense for the Aggies. Warren hit at the line, kept his feet, didn't get much more. And Ezekiel Noah, starting middle linebacker, finishes him off. So yeah, in comes Peasley, the sophomore from Oregon. He played last year against Stony Brook, but then tore his MCL in that game, missed the remainder of the season.
And remember, Ezekiel Noah just made that tackle right there. He tore an ACL as well, so a little bit of extra time to prepare to get back. And they talked about a blessing in disguise. Jeff Schmedding, the defensive coordinator, saying it's a blessing in disguise that some of these guys had a little bit more time to recover. And even with the losses in the front, very solid on the back end with this defense.
See if Peasley converts. Not much blue running room ahead of him, and Jalen Walker comes flying up to make the stop. Another fourth down coming for the Aggies.
Boy, great job of Jalen Walker recognizing this attempt at a run by Peasley, coming up and making a great sound tackle. But Jalen Walker, really versatile talent. We talked about how good this secondary is. 3 all-Mountain West Conference defensive backs. These guys tackle well and attack the ball well.
By the way, how good has Avery Williams been during his career as a punt returner? He has not had any opportunities to let one rip today. Broncos take over at the 35. Bachmeier and Khalil Shakir back out in the field. We come back to Boise.
And I can see my man Mike Hill working that wedding ring. Congrats, my man.
Mike will talk to you in a bit. Broncos back on offense. Yeah, your Buckeyes start 1-0.
Yeah, it was a bit of a slow start that they had, but they really turned it on. They've got Penn State next week. How about the performance of Rutgers today, too? Jesus.
Ask Indiana how that one went. Rutgers taking down Michigan State. Indiana the win over Penn State. That's right, the Big Ten and the Mountain West conferences begin their season. This is week 1 for those conferences. Here's Shakir on the end around. How about the burst of speed? Cash Gilliam tackled him.
We talked earlier about the jet sweep motion. We're going to see Shakir come in motion there, and he does such a great job of getting vertical on this. I love seeing that from the wide receivers. They don't try and run to the sideline, plant that foot, get vertical, get those yards. And obviously he has a great deal of experience running that play. Nice run there by Shakir.
Eric Keesaw, the first-year offensive coordinator, he talked to us. It's almost a requirement to have this creative side in the play calling when you're at Boise State. Bates reels in another catch. Bond brings him down. It's now 4 catches for Bates.
So many looks that you see from this Boise State offense. Started off a little pistol there, went a little run action, get a little boot, get Bates out into the flat. Bates did a nice job getting vertical on that one as well. You just have so many things that you have to try and defend. So many different looks that you have to be ready for, and the pre-motion shifts. Just so much to deal with.
Just saw Bates come to this side. C.T. Thomas. Should be enough for the first. That play, perfect example of what we were just alluding to.
Yeah, and it was so late, too. C.T. Thomas is so far across the formation, you think there's no way that they're going to hand this thing off. Great job on the mechanics of that one, because when that snap comes that late, sometimes it can be hard to get that handoff out of there. Got Jack Sears in there.
Look who is in at quarterback. Bachmeier just rolled off. It's just domination. 11 first downs for Boise State compared to 1 for the Aggies. So here's the redshirt junior from San Clemente, California, the former Southern Cal Trojan. Barrels ahead for a nice pickup.
Yeah, this is what they talked about, the athleticism of Jack Sears. See him getting out of the pocket. A little bit of the turf monster there on the way down the field. But you can see the athleticism of Sears, just take it and go. Little fake toss action there. Got himself a little bit tripped up. Got a little excited. He was smelling end zone.
Well, hey, for your first play in 2 years, positive yardage, pretty good. Bachmeier back in under center, or in the shotgun. Palmani. Oh, look at the running room. Jackson ushers him out. Easy run for the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year from a year ago.
And a nice block by Shakir on this one on the outside. You're going to see the block from Shakir as he appears out here. Palmani does a nice job accelerating there. Utah State's just got to be more physical up front. We know about the problems that they had a year ago. 297 yards rushing that Boise State had. 176 of those from George Holani.
Cobbs keeps his feet, weaving left and right for positive yards. That was Shakir.
Yeah, a little reverse action here. You just, again, you never know what you're going to see. Missed opportunity there for the tackle. Nice little stiff arm.
Shakir, he'll run that wildcat from time to time. Van Buren, the tailback with Bachmeier. 2nd and 1. Van Buren stuffed. Justice Tae. A returner on the defensive line who's could be a game changer for the Aggies. 3rd down.
Yeah, nice stop there by Tae coming up. Change from that linebacker spot to defensive line. great penetration, fighting off of the block, and that's what you really need. You need a guy that's a tone setter. Hey guys, if you don't understand what kind of tempo you need on game day, just watch me. Does a nice job fighting through the block there and then making the wrap on the tackle.
Boise State at one point led 56-7 in this game a year ago. On the verge of maybe going up 3 scores in the first half, and Bachmeier is in. Second career rushing touchdown, 3-score advantage.
Got a numbers advantage that you're going to see up here. Get your lead block. Really an easy one right there. These coaching staffs talk about winning pre-snap. Sometimes you can lose pre-snap as well. Just by your alignment, you get yourself out of position, and that's exactly what we saw right there. Not really so important to stay up from a psychological standpoint for this Utah State team and that offense. They're going to get their opportunity when we come back.
It's a 3-score advantage for Boise State after Hank Bachmeier ran in his second career rushing touchdown. 9 plays, 65 yards. So this Boise State engine continues to roar in game 1 of this, what's going to be a truncated season. Both of these teams with 8 games on the schedule. That's the max for all Mountain West Conference teams. It's a sprint for the conference title game. The 2 teams with the highest winning percentages. And at the end of this shortened season, we'll meet in the title game. Coming up next, Air Force, San Jose State. Jason Shelley back at quarterback. A transfer from Utah. They're going to scramble for a few. Dimitri Washington brings him down. So Shelley comes back in. Andrew Peasley orchestrated the offense on the prior Aggies drive. Still just 1 first down for Utah State. Remember, this team lost a starter at every skill position. No more Jordan Love, the record-setting quarterback. So Yossi Mariner is gone. That ball is loose. There's Devontae Henry Cole on the carry. And Jordan Nathan was able to recover it. So 3rd down coming up.
This is a tighter look right here, but you can see that was Avery Williams. They had a corner blitz called on that one. Great call by Jeff Schmedding. Williams able to get in there and knock that ball out. He paid for that one, though. You could see the grimace on his face. Got that arm extended a little bit.
Williams, the captain of that secondary. Look who is gone this season for Utah State. Love, of course, now with the Packers. Mariner had a terrific season after transferring from Utah. Then Gerald Bright as well, rushed for nearly 1,000 yards. And while Utah State has some depth at these positions, again, there's still a lot of untested players at these skill positions this year for a team that's trying to bounce back after going 7-6 on the heels of an 11-win season.
There's no question. That's a lot of production to have to replace him. Gary Anderson, be the first one to tell you, I don't want to make any excuses for it, and wouldn't want us making any excuses for it. But that's a lot to replace, especially in a season where you don't get all that work in the spring, you don't get as much work over the summer to develop the timing because of what's happened with COVID.
Jason Shelley transferring in July, so coming into the picture late. Some of his first interactions with coaches and players were virtual or remote. Earned some respect. Gary Anderson outlined from his teammates because of his infectious energy. A This great athleticism. The last time we saw Shelley was late in the 2018 season when he helped lead Utah to the Pac-12 title game. We might have a clock issue. Now, a moment ago was a Boise State timeout. Remember, no fans at Albertson Stadium. You see the cardboard cutouts.
Well, it's just the sound. It's just the sounds that you can hear. I mean, you can hear like every bit of the conversation between the refs. The sideline for Boise getting excited there. Not sure what that one was about.
Shelley, he took a hit after he let that one go. Devin Tompkins with the reception. 4th down.
Nice little blitz there. Riley Wimpy getting in there, making Shelley feel that one. So you better believe we're going to be bringing it all day.
It just feels, anywhere you look on that Boise State defense, it is just a sturdy and stable group.
Well, just like that offensive line, they replaced some faces along that defensive line. Most notably Weaver, 13.5 sacks a year ago. They've had guys just really step up.
Remember, Mike Hill's got you covered with the State Farm halftime show coming up. Busier day of college football with the Big Ten back, Mountain West as well. Welcome to the Fox Sports airwaves, by the way. Thrilled to have the Mountain West Conference. Fox FS1 and FS2 this year. On the blue to kick it off. But Sudley's getting a lot of work in the opening half. Williams, who has 5 career return touchdowns, was contained. Well, we wondered what Hank Bachmeier would look like in his second year as a starting quarterback. He started a perfect 7 for 7 in the early goings of this one. He has mixed the ball around nicely. This is the brightest throw, the big one to Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. That's been a great job of the play calling as well. From offensive coordinator Eric Keesaw, really mixing up the run and the pass. Obviously, including the run at the goal line there to Hank Bachmeier. Been a little bit off on some of his throws, maybe just a little bit excited again. Even though there are no fans in the stand, guys just get a little excited. Younger players, even in his second year, a little bit excited. Mechanics just a little bit off.
When in doubt, hand the ball to Helani.
Not a bad option.
So Bachmeier, the prized recruit of that 2019 class, had one of the best first impressions ever. Throws for more than 400 yards down in Tallahassee in a win against Florida State to kick off last year. Wins his first 7 starts before injuries marred the remainder of the year for him. Came back, played in the Boise State's bowl game, looked a little rusty, but nonetheless, a solid first year to say the least.
Big 3rd down opportunity here for Utah State, trying to come up with the stop, get this ball back, and get some more points. Get some points on the scoreboard here.
3 yards for the first down, and that was C.T. Thomas sitting down nicely across midfield.
Still going to have their chance. Bachmeier does a nice job. That offensive line really did a nice job. We talked about all those new faces right there. Utah State comes with the blitz, picked up perfectly. Give Bachmeier the time. Delivers a nice ball.
Had plenty of time there, but gets rid of it with coverage downfield. So 2nd and 10. Clock stops at 1:23. Boise State with 1 timeout left. Bachmeier 12 of 16 through the air. 157 passing yards, plus the touchdown on the ground. To the sideline, incomplete. A little bit behind Thomas. So the Aggies, here they go, have another chance to stop the Broncos on 3rd down.
Yeah, and they've got all 3 of their timeouts as well. Bachmeier just trying to hit the quick out right here. Goes a little bit behind to C.T. Thomas on that one. That's a really dangerous throw right there. That's the cardinal sin for a quarterback. On those quick outs like that, you throw that ball to the inside, that thing can easily be tipped and intercepted, but he got away with it right there.
He's got 4 receivers on 3rd down. They need the 37. There's a dart and a catch. Octavius Evans. Move the sticks.
A great throw from Bachmeier here, and watch the way that Octavius Evans, nice strong hands, extends that ball away from the defender, trying to knock that thing out on the way to the ground.
Bachmeier has hit 7 different receivers. This was a little too much heat on it. Going back to Evans, 2nd and 10.
They got to take a little bit off on those coming underneath right there. Got a little bit excited. Saw his man breaking open, wanted to get that thing out of there quickly. Got to throw the change up on that one.
It stayed up in the air a little while too after it hit Evans' right hand. Fortunate for Bachmeier, no Aggies nearby. Just about a minute to go until half. Good pocket. Pass, catch, and John Bates with his 5th catch of the day to lead all receivers.
Yeah, Bates does a nice job just sitting down in that zone. That Utah State defense. Utah State not able to get home, not able to affect Bachmeier, and really not able to cover very well on the back end.
Nope.
Having some problems.
No pressure. Evans another 1st down catch. Bachmeier saying let's spike it. 34 seconds to go.
Well, these coaching staffs talk about complementary football, and if you're not generating that pass rush, you can only cover for so long on back end of your defense, and you've been seeing that today. These Boise State receivers and the tight ends, Riley and Bates, have had their opportunities to get open, and that front for Utah State has not been able to exploit, which is an offensive line for Boise State that has a lot of new faces on it.
2 starters out for the Aggies, Leffridge and Reed. Alani out of the backfield. He breaks free. Touchdown. Second touchdown of the day. Zigs and zags and scores.
This young man is just special. Brian Harsin just gushed about him. You could see the move to the outside, move back to the inside. Such a natural feel as a runner, and does a nice job protecting the football all the way into the end zone.
28-0. Alani with 3 catches and a touchdown catch, of course. Plus 56 yards on the ground. Look at these moves.
Nice moves by Helani, but again, some poor tackling on the outside by that Utah State defense. And both of these staffs talked about the need to make sure that their players were ready mentally, that they had themselves up to play in this game. And this is going to be a real challenge for Gary Anderson and this Utah State staff. It's looking very similar to what they saw a year ago. You got to make sure that these guys come out and that they're ready to play. You got to take some chances offensively and defensively. You got to get some shots downfield. I don't know if you want to take it right now.
Devin Tompkins decides to take it out. 21 seconds left. The Aggies to take over at the 16th. So Alani continues tormenting this Aggie squad. 2 touchdowns against them last year, 2 in the first half this season.
Well, and Alexander Madison went for 200 2 years ago in 2018 against this Utah State team as well. Got to find a solution. Better tackling is a good start.
Yep. Boise State has won 16 of the last 17 against this Aggies team. Warren disappears into the pile of blue helmets. Broncos are going to take a 4-score lead into the locker room.
Yeah, Utah State really just content to let the clock run out here. Remember, they deferred at the beginning. So in the second half, Utah State going to have the ball. And how about this for a nugget, Mike Hill? This is not the latest start ever for Utah State for a football season.
Oh, wow. Season opener in Boise, and the Broncos with a 4-score lead. 28-zip, the advantage over Utah State with Robert Smith, former Pro Bowler with the Vikings, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. We wondered what the season opener was going to look like for both of these offenses. For the Broncos, it was a blue tidal wave that we saw 300-plus total yards in half number one.
Yeah, and this is, if you're new offensive coordinator Eric Keesaw for Boise State, this is kind of how it looked in your dreams coming into a game like this. Hank Bachmeier, great job distributing the ball in the first half. You can see him hitting his tight end Riley coming across, then Bates, then he hits Shakir, then he's going to take it in himself. Nice physical run at the goal line. So he did an excellent job. Backfield mate George Halani coming off a 1,000-yard season last year as a true freshman. We saw why he was able to put up those kind of yards a year ago. Remember, he ran for 176 against Utah State a year ago. Great power, but look at the moves right here. I want to give a lot of credit to this Boise State offense, but you look at that defense from Utah State, plenty of players had opportunities to make tackles on that one.
The Aggies start half number 2 with the football. They've got to answer the question of how can we start moving some things on offense. Just 45 total yards for the Aggies in half number 1, compared to more than 300 for Boise State. How does this offense get it sparked here in half?
Well, I think everybody would think, okay, well, let's start throwing the ball all the way downfield, but this is just what you see right here. You've got to try and get still some manageable downs on third down if you get there, so you really still have to try and stay on schedule. You're trying to get to the perimeter here. That Boise State defense, just like they did in the first half, looking stout on the edges.
Jalen Warren leaping straight into Kekaula Kaniho's waiting arms. 1 yard, that's it. Warren got off to a blazing start last year running the football for the Aggies. Injuries hampered him for much of the year. Picks up a decent amount on second down. Skinner and Whitney force him out of bounds.
And then you get down into a manageable down and distance right here. Like I said, you don't want to just keep trying to throw the ball downfield. You don't want to go crazy. But you get some of these opportunities with man coverage like this. Maybe a guy on a double move breaks free, and you get your shot downfield.
Pass caught. And Justin McGriff has the second first down of the day for the Aggies.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, right? You can't get your third one until you get your second one. You can see here, Shelley doing a nice job getting to the outside. Got to be careful again. Threw that one a little bit to the inside. We know a couple of years ago for Utah, had some problems with the interceptions.
McGriff, the 6'6" target. Keep an eye on the junior college transfer. Bryce Mortensen, one of the tight ends that Bodie Reeder is going to use quite a bit this year with his first catch.
Jalen Walker, a nice job. Tackle on the outside. We've mentioned his name before, been involved, did some tackles, had a pick 6 actually against Utah State a year ago. They have got one of the best secondaries in the country.
Walker and Williams could be two of the better corners of this league. Warren rumbles ahead for about 6.
Well, the answer to the question, what do you want to get going in this second half to get back in this one? This is exactly what it is that you want to do. Start getting some of those first downs, but also grinding a little bit of that clock. Of course, when Boise State has that ball, you've got to try and get some turnovers. But from an offensive perspective, this is exactly what you want.
4 yards for a first down. Warren lowers the shoulder. First down. Second on the drive.
Remember, the new offensive coordinator, Bodie Reeder, talked about the change in tempo this year. Not going to be full speed all the time. They're going to mix that tempo up a little bit. But you can just see and sense a different mentality from this Utah State team right now. They're just playing more physical. That offensive line starting to get some push.
Warren trying to turn the corner. Beaten there by Canijo.
Just as I say that, they get a little bit of penetration into the backfield, get a loss of yardage on that one.
But even still, the best drive of the day, unequivocally for Utah State. There's Bodie Reeder. Last season at North Texas. Spent a couple of years at Eastern Washington. Gary Anderson said his play calling, definitely the style that we want this year. Like you said, slow it down, vary the formations up. Shelley gets some positive yards, but it's going to be 3rd and long coming up. Jackson Craven's on the stop.
Shelley does a nice job escaping and getting back near the line of scrimmage. Very important call here, and very important that Jason Shelley doesn't see that he has an opportunity to not turn the ball over, to get the ball downfield without turning it over. We've got to be very careful. Don't take a sack. Don't get the ball. Don't fumble the ball. The last thing that you want to do is put Boise State on a short field when you're down like this.
Need the 34, and he's taken down. Another sack. Shane Irwin.
Well, they're just winning up front. We talked about Utah State playing a little bit more physical. This is a nice call by defensive coordinator Jeff Schmidt. You saw that movement up front, the twists and the stunts, confusing that offensive line for Utah State, and they're able to get home.
Fair catch from Williams. A few first downs there for Utah State, but eventually a punt. Boy, this Boise State defense standing tall again. This Boise State offense, a well-oiled machine today in the season opener. Hank Bachmeier, 15 of 21 through the air. George Halani has showed his elusive moves on the ground, catching some passes as well. And Khalil Shakir, that big 52-yard touchdown catch earlier. The future is bright. Bachmeier and Halani, sophomores. Shakir, the junior. So Bachmeier, he starts the first series of half number 2 for the Broncos. C.T. Thomas holds that one in sliding down. What your assessment of Bachmeier so far? What do you think?
I thought he's been pretty good. Apart from a couple of errant throws, you're going to have those sometimes, especially in the first game of the season. I thought he's looked very good. And this Utah State defense, new defensive coordinator Frankie Maile, he's got his hands full. There are a lot of playmakers for that Boise State offense. Maybe start taking some chances here with the blitz. Just try and disrupt them, try and create a turnover.
Keyword playmaker. There are many of them. So Van Buren was swallowed up there right at the line of scrimmage. He'll be behind Halani this year. Those two will basically get the lion's share of the carries, at least early on this season. Boise State, a team that won 12 games a year ago, Mountain West Conference Championship, trying to get back to the title game for a 4th straight season, and expected at the top of this truncated 8-game season. 3rd and 3. Incomplete. Nice play from Cam Lampkin. Breaks that one up. Bachmeier looking for Shakir.
And this is exactly what this Utah State defense needed. Cam Lampkin makes a nice break on this ball. Does a nice job, though, not going over the back of Shakir, getting a penalty, but knocking that ball away. That's exactly what they needed.
A sophomore from Mesquite, Texas.
Joe Velasquez is on the field to punt the ball away for the Broncos.
Joel Velasquez to boot it away again. This is a missile. Nathan had trouble handling it. That one's still being fought for.
Boise State touchdown. Very well could be. Well, on a muff, though, it's going to depend on if he touched that in the field of play. Dean here, take a look at this one.
When the ball comes down, now Canijo's got his hands up. And did it hit the left hand?
I believe that did hit the left hand.
And that is critical,
right, so
to your point right now.
Yeah, would not be able to advance that. That would be in the field of play.
The ruling on the field is that the receiver did not touch the ball, and the ball was dead in the end zone. Therefore, it is Utah State's ball, 1st and 10 at the 20.
Yeah, and there was an initial signal for touchback.
The previous play is under further review.
All right, so we've got questions. Luckily, we got Dean Blandino to help answer them for us here. So, Dean, obviously, whether or not it hit that left hand, what did you see on this one?
Yeah, that's the key. If they touch it, if the receiving team touches it in the field of play, then the kickers recover in the end zone. That's a touchdown. If they don't touch it, as soon as it hits in the end zone, it's dead. It looks like it goes right between his hands. It's so close, and they ruled that he did not touch it. I don't know if there's enough to change it here.
And if he did, though, Dean, if he does touch this, would this fall under that category of immediate recovery? If we see a Boise State player recover it, I guess if he touched it, if he touched it in the field of play, it'd be dead there anyway.
Action.
It would be dead there anyway.
If he touches it in the field of play, it's a live ball, and it's not dead when it hits in the end zone. That's why the touch is so important here. And again, they ruled that he didn't touch it. That's why it eventually ended up being a touchback. But again, look at that shot. It's so close. And if it touches any part of that left hand, then it's a touchdown. I just don't see enough to change it here.
So this is one where we might hear stands, right? Call stands.
Yeah, exactly. When you start saying I think, maybe, that kind of leads you down that stands path.
So Dean, what is that muff rule like? It was my understanding that they couldn't advance a muff. So even if they did recover it in the end zone, it wouldn't be a touchdown. It would be down where his hand touched it, correct, in the field of play?
No. It's still a kick, right? So it's not dead once he touches it.
Okay.
Now, if Boise had recovered it in the field of play, they couldn't advance it into the end zone. But since they recovered it in the end zone, then it could be a touchdown if it's first touched in the field of play by Utah State. A lot of moving parts on this one.
We're glad you're the rules expert.
And like you alluded to, Dean,
it's got to be.
It is razor close whether or not it hit the glove.
Well, I don't know that it's because if there's no view that it's clear and convincing, the call on the field is assumed to be correct. So if you don't see evidence to overturn it,
the ruling on the field stands as called.
Yep.
Of a touchback. Utah State's ball, 1st and 10 at the 20.
19, you were right on it. Mike Catone says, yep, this one stands 1st and 10 at the 20.
You could tell he got nervous on that one. I mean, He goes to recover the ball. I think he has it looked like it touched the glove.
Well, officially,
looks
in history.
It looks like, and we saw it actually happen, are two different things.
Just nowhere to go. The Broncos with a major push up front. Boy, how many times have we mentioned Riley Wimpy's name today?
How many times did the coaches mention him? Not just because of his work ethic during what was such an unusual offseason, of course. Just the way that he motivates these guys. Tremendous player.
True leader, according to Brian Harsin. Coming this way, and it's a drop. There wasn't much running room for Devontae Henry Cole either. Sam Whitney was right there to meet him had he caught it.
Well, Cole had an opportunity to catch that one. Just tries to get his head around. A little bit quick on that one. Takes his eyes off of the football. Is able to pull that one in. But you're right. Probably would have got tackled right away. But still, that's one that you want to bring in. It's just, I think it can be just demoralizing when so many things go poorly for your team.
Surely they run for it. Cuts away from Whimpey. And yeah, first down.
This is what you want to see from a guy like Jason Shelley. Does a nice job, open field running right here, baiting some tacklers. He's got such a great burst. His acceleration can be amazing. You would hope they could get some opportunities, get him on the edge, give him some run-pass options, maybe get some shots downfield.
Not much there for Warren. And it's worth pointing out, remember, the last time Shelley saw the field significantly and started a game 2 years ago for Utah, where he led them to the Pac-12 championship game and a bowl game that season. It's been a while. Only threw 11 passes last year, playing behind Tyler Huntley down the road in Salt Lake.
And actually was moved to safety for the bowl game last year because of some injuries that Utah had. Had a tackle in the bowl game.
That's one of those, the writings on the wall. Okay, let me look for another program. End around the reverse to Tompkins. He's smothered. Bunch of blue helmets.
Watch Jacob Robinson come up on this play. He doesn't end up making the tackle, but he's going to come firing up here. Force the action, makes him cut back on that, allows the cavalry to come in and finish the job.
Rarely is his Broncos team going to shoot themselves in the foot defensively. So steady everywhere. 3 on the play clock. Shelley to the marker. That one is a catch. Tompkins.
Right foot, left foot spot here. Looks like they're going to give it to him.
Tompkins, Shelley's favorite receiver today. 5 catches.
Shelley does a nice job of the placement on that one. You can see Tompkins dragging that foot, trying to get his eye on the yard marker.
2 knees down. Just some positive momentum for the Aggies. Late in the third. Warren grinding. He sits down in midfield.
Nice physical run right there for 7 yards. There's so many options. Just as you're crossing the 50 here, we hear it so many times. Talk about when do you take one of those shots? Is this the opportunity? So many options on a 2nd and 3. Is this the opportunity that you want to take and try and drive the ball downfield?
Tyreek Jones is the player tended to now on the field. We'll step aside. Timeout in Boise. Fox College football is powered by Ram trucks built to serve. Back in Boise, I think that was a waning gibbous. I'm not quite sure. Under the night sky here in the Treasure Valley. Tyreek Jones was the injured player a moment ago. He was able to walk off the field. Tended to on the sideline. Markel Reed comes in and takes place. 2nd and 3. Warren finds the edge. Oh, and a stiff arm pass Canijo. Wasn't quite Derrick Henry, but still got him an extra yard or 2. And a first down for the Aggies.
Nice physical run right there. See why Jalen Warren was so successful at the beginning of last season. Such a physical runner. And that's a waxing move, by the way.
Waxing, not waning.
Waning says it's getting small.
That's right. Astronomy 101 with Robert Smith. Warren again. About 3 yards. Whitby with another tackle.
3 yards pickup.
regardless, proved to be a beautiful Saturday in Boise. So look at the difference. The first half, 1 first down for Utah State, 5 in half number 2. Several on this drive. 7 yards to go. Warren just fights for every yard, wiggles ahead.
Clearly, there's been a great deal of uncertainty. So many different things have happened in this unusual year. Coaches find out so much about their team in a situation like this. You're down in a game like this, 28-0 at half. How do you come out of the locker room? What kind of effort are you showing out there? You're really finding out a lot about their team, and you can see they're playing much more physical football.
You've wanted the offensive line play as well in the second half. Warren got to work for it. Squeezes through the hole. Hopping down to the 15. There's the effort.
And Jalen Warren saying, if you don't know the tempo, just watch me. Look at the shoulder pads staying low. That's so important because when there is contact, that momentum still moving them forward, pushing guys off of his feet. And here we see a little bit of the tempo.
Feed him. Keep feeding the senior from Salt Lake City. Spent a couple years at a junior college, transferred in last year, got off to that roaring start the first couple games for the Aggies. Injuries, though, slowed him down the remainder of the way. Still proved a reliable backup in here the second half today. He's rolling. Tailback for the Aggies. First down carry for Elion Noah. It's for a first down. I didn't see if his brother tackled him, but you got a Noah on each side of the ball today.
Lots of Noahs, and obviously a big third down right here. You'd like to come away with 7 instead of 3. Of course, fourth down, you're probably going for it anyway. Watch the man-to-man coverage down here.
Timeout. Brian Harsin, hopping man on that sideline.
Timeout. Boise State. This is their first timeout of the half.
So Boise State had to call a timeout.
Didn't like the way that defense was aligned right there. Jordan Nathan, excellent wide receiver for Utah State, lined up man-to-man on the bottom with a lot of blue turf and orange end zone to work with.
Well, let's throw it all the way back to Hillix High. The brothers Noah. Ezekiel, he's a few years older at Boise State. Elion, a true freshman, just got his first collegiate carry. There's the family. A lot of siblings, and I would think a proud day for Elias and Tarita. Mom and Dad getting to watch both of them today on either sideline.
Didn't he break Reggie Bush's rushing record there? Isn't that where Reggie Bush went to high school? That's the one where Reggie went to high school.
If you're topping Reggie Bush, you're doing something right. Rushed for more than 5,800 yards in his high school career. The Noahs grew up outside of San Diego. You put that at the top of the resume. I broke Reggie Bush's rushing record.
Normally you'd say in a situation like this is the kind of play where you want some sort of play action, get Jason Shelley booting out. Boise State so disciplined on the backside of plays. Try and get your shot in here. Try and find single coverage and exploit it. You see Nathan again lined up in single coverage on the bottom. Got Markel Reed in coverage with a little inside leverage. Maybe try and take a shot on a fade.
And the Aggies punch one in. There's the fade, but Griff incomplete. Walker on the coverage. That one was too far out of bounds. Fourth down, but at this point,
yeah,
might as well go.
You're going to go for it right here.
Nice job in coverage there, Jalen Walker, but Jason Shelley, he's got to give his receiver a chance, got to keep that thing on the table. With a receiver with a height advantage like that, the best option is try and throw it up, let him play a little bit of basketball, go up and pull that thing down. Now he got the same.
There goes Nathan.
Same relationship on the bottom.
Shelley looking this side. A bullet. Pass caught. That's a first down. That's McGriff. Boy, this staff they are really happy to have the junior college transfer McGriff, 6'6", stretch it out there, make the catch.
Well, he did a nice job, and so many times you are going to see the fade on that one, but rather than going to the fade, they do the fade stop. You're right. Talk about that height advantage. McGriff, 6'6". He does a nice job extending the ball for the first down.
Warren's the tailback. Warren, touchdown. He was working all drive, deserved that one, and the Aggies are on the board.
They're on the board, and they're excited about it. I'd love to see that. I mean, these guys are not hanging their head. We talked about how they came out from halftime. They're much more physical than they were. Drive this Boise State defense back. Warren does a nice job on that one, cutting it to the backside. Boise not able to seal that one off on the backside. Touchdown. And celebrating the first touchdown, the first points of the season for Utah State. And whoever thought we'd be playing in the first place. Great to see.
Football is back in the Mountain West. Warren has got the Aggies on the board. Nice run.
Why you trying to keep me thinking?
So 16 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown for the Aggies. Jalen Warren with 48 of those 80 yards on the ground. He punched it in from a yard out to get Utah State on the board. And so all of a sudden here, Robert, the Aggies have scored. Nice looking drive. A couple of defensive stops in this quarter. We'll see what can happen. See if they can try to flip this one quickly. Need to rack up the stops, though.
Well, ideally, even more than a stop, you'd like a turnover.
Right.
In a case like this. And this is something new defensive coordinator Frankie Miley has emphasized. See what they come out here with early.
Williams, the 39. Boise State football after the Utah State score. Jack Sears with a little flip to Khalil Shakir. The first play of the drive. Positive yards, about 8.
Andrew Van Buren had a nice block coming out of the backfield. I don't see any selfish players on this Boise State team. Receivers are going to block. Running backs block when they get an opportunity. We'll see what Jack Sears is able to do here. See if he can dial up some throws.
Speaking of opportunity, so Hank Bachmeier's on the sideline. He had one other snap in the first half. It was an 8-yard run. This is the fake, the throw, and Bates was open. It looked like he was quite looking. Incomplete, so 32, and Sears back to the sideline.
Just a little miscommunication, it looks like. The fake toss on that one. Pressure from the linebacker level. You can see Metzenheimer on that one, able to get the hands up, forcing the throw further to the inside than Jack Sears wanted on that one.
Yeah, pardon me, that wasn't Bates, that was Sears, just missed him. 2 yards to go. Van Buren's the tailback. Motions out. Spin. First down. Well-designed play. Clock winds in the 3rd.
And that's another first down.
When they really have the confidence in these backs getting downfield, catching the ball out of the backfield. That creates so many problems for opposing defenses because you can force bad matchups against safeties and linebackers.
Bachmeier this time decides, nope, I'll take the knee. Metzenheimer and Henninger were right there.
Well, again, offensive coordinator Eric Keesaw talked about this. with Bachmeier and the injuries that he had a year ago. He wanted him to protect himself better this year, so he's practiced on those slides. Discretion is the better part of valor sometimes.
And Buren about 2.5 yards. And his toughness, of course, is such an admirable characteristic, but it also sometimes is worst enemy. So often last year, the long-time radio voice, the Broncos, the highlight call would be hit as he throws. Hit as he throws on Bachmeier's highlights.
Well, you want them in there tough when they have to get the ball downfield, but you also want him to be smart about it. We'll see if he's continuing. That was...
Fourth quarter about to begin, but first, a team comparison sponsored by Credible.com. It was 28-0 at the half. The Aggies with the lone score in quarter number 3. And looked much better. They tried to move the football a bit more aggressively than in half number 1.
3rd and 9 here. Here's your opportunity. Get Boise State off the field. Get your offense back out there.
Some pressure coming. Bachmeier stands in, heaves it. Bates got his hands on it. 4th down.
Jarrett Green does a nice job breaking that one up. Remember, he's a player that's in for Lethbridge, and they brought the blitz there. Frankie Miley going to force the action on that one. And Green goes up, knocks that ball out of the hands of Bates. Good job there.
His first career start. Makes a fine play.
That's what you need.
Boots it right into his own teammate. This ball is free. Aggies recover. Nick Henninger picks it up.
And recovered.
Velasquez spiked it into it. Looked like Bates.
We talked about this Utah State team needed more than some stops, needed something like a turnover, and of course it's not truly a turnover, would have been their ball anyway, but this is exactly what they needed.
Boom.
I don't know that I've ever seen that one. Just kind of hits the extended arm of Bates right there.
If it got by the Bates arm, it might have hit somebody just past him. Look at this. At the 21, a drive starts. On the ground. Short gain for Noah. You said it. They need a turnover, not just stops. Instead of maybe being pinned inside their own 20-yard line, the Aggies inside of the Broncos' red zone.
You wonder if Warren's banged up.
Noah's 3rd carry. This is the true freshman. And a lot of blue in front of him, but tripped up.
Yep, Warren's coming back onto the field now.
Warren 76 yards on the ground today. Clearly the Aggies' best ball carrier, plus he has the lone score.
48 yards on that last drive alone. They gave him a little bit of a break at the beginning of this drive. Man-to-man here again.
That's McGriff. Instead, Warren. 1st down. He just rides for yards. Goal to go.
Nice physical run from Warren. Again, gets a little lead. Pull the tight end Mortensen around on that one. Little power. Just extra bodies to the point of attack. Warren does a nice job following.
Warren to the 5.
I'm sure it was quite a halftime speech. Gary Anderson, he's got these guys all cranked up. Huge emotional swing, though. with the punt that goes into Bates. See if you can punch it in now.
Quickly, Warren absorbs a blow. Now it's the pile. He might have gotten to the 2.
Boy, that gets those guys up front so pumped up when they see their running back punch it in there like that, start carrying tacklers with him. Say, hey, I got a block for this guy. I know if I can get a hat on a hat, we got a chance with a guy like that.
See it, the O-line with just much more of a push in the second half. 3rd and goal. Griff, bottom of the screen. Warren, second effort. Touchdown.
Nice second effort from Jalen Warren, but he makes a man miss right after he gets the handoff, or else he would not have even had a chance. Look at that little side step right there, little bit of a jump cut. And carrying folks into the end zone.
Now his left knee looked like it hit the turf. Now was the ball across the line at that point. This one goes through. It'll be the second rushing touchdown for Warren today. And now 91 yards on the ground.
Just deciding whether they're going to take a look at this one. Just resetting the clock here.
Yep.
You know, they look so closely at those scoring plays, so they must have had a chance to take a look at some of those replays to confirm that ball was over the goal line.
Holtum hits the right upright. Nels Holtum, kicking in his first game in 3 years, misses that one. So the Broncos' mistake leads to the Aggies' score. Warren, all muscle to get across the goal line. Two is better than one, and Jalen Warren has now a pair of scores. He was the star of that shortened drive after the Broncos' special teams mistake. The Aggies punched one in to get it back to a 2-score game. An extra point was missed, but still a 2-possession game.
And he was the star of the drive before with 48 rushing yards on that drive. He's really been the difference here in the second half for this Aggie football team.
Here is the dangerous Avery Williams. He's been totally contained today.
Avery Williams.
The O-line saying, hey, we paved the way. Nice work, young fella. Jalen Warren, a second touchdown. 2-score game. All right, so no winner last week. That means this Sunday, Fox Bet Super 6 is giving you another chance at $1 million. You can play for free right now, so download the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Your picks for Sunday's games for a shot at $1 million.
A pittance, just a small bit of cash. There's probably in the car seats for Terry Bradshaw.
Terry's trying to give it away. Boise State ball. So with 11:45 in the fourth. By the way, if you flipped away at halftime and you're coming back right now, yeah, Utah State back within 2 scores. The offense was wretched in the first half. 2 Jalen Warren touchdowns have the Aggies within reach at least. What's the difference?
Well, they've been so physical on the offensive side, and they've dialed up more of the blitzes, taking some chances defensively to come up with some stops.
Marcus Moore wrangles Halani down. Might have pulled him across the line, and it is. That's a first down. By the way, that's the UCLA transfer.
Well, this is the chess game that happens between coordinators. You're the offensive coordinator, Eric Keesaw. You're the defensive coordinator for Utah State, Frankie Miley. Both first-year coordinators. Where's the blitz going to come? Where are we going to try and take the ball?
Meyer, plenty of time. That ball looked like it was tipped and still caught. Khalil Shakir, the captain.
And it looks like Metzenheimer might get a hand on this one.
Yes.
Still able to complete it. That's a great job by Bachmeier, though, just getting just enough air on that ball. And if you're Metzenheimer on that one, you're like, man, got to work on that vertical a little bit. Almost could have had himself a pick.
Halani working on the speed. And his tackle was nearly gone. Shaq Bond got him by the ankles. Halani almost said good night.
Remember, Halani, 176 yards in this game against Utah State a year ago. And look at this, just 10 yards downfield. Nobody even lays a hand on him. Nice move on the safety. Says, okay, you guys got Jalen Warren. Remember, I can tote that thing a little bit myself.
Gain of 34. Ball's at the 26. Here comes Shakir. He wants in on the action. First down.
This Boise State offense can be so difficult to defend because even when you have eye discipline, you're reading your keys and you're going to see players pull to the backside of this the other way, looking like it's going to be power the other way, and then Shakir gets it on the sweep action coming back in the other direction. That gets linebackers, safeties out of position and creates great angles for your blockers that are pulled around.
That was Halani who just motioned out. Shakir. Who's got the ball? It looks like the big fella on the line. Curran. Was that Garrett Curran? He's got the big smile on his face. This is one to take a look at again. He's got it.
Oh, wow. That's like the old fumble Ruski, except the ball wasn't on the ground. Just hands it right to the big man. I don't know if he was waiting and was going to try and hand that thing off the other way. They weren't having it.
Nick Henninger spotted it immediately. Here's Shakir. Bending around multiple defenders, and he scores.
Shakir, just so dangerous, such a versatile weapon. It's a nice job, fearless, going across the middle. But it's his run after the catch that's so special on this play. We talked about this earlier. Getting upfield, starts to move horizontally, but then does a nice job planting that foot, getting upfield. Nice physical run for a guy that isn't that big.
Dodging white helmets and officials as well. His second touchdown of the day. Boise State punches right back late in this season opener, answering back-to-back Aggie scores with one of their own. Khalil Shakir with his second touchdown pass, now over 100 yards today in the opener.
We talked about his versatility as well. Catching the ball in the backfield, taking the jet sweeps, even throwing the ball sometimes.
And you've referenced just how difficult it is for defenses. Tompkins gets buried at about the 18. For Shakir, he's got to handle all of those elements of the offense himself. He's the spoken player of the game.
For good reason. See him settling down on this play. Look at that vision as you talked about. Looting white helmets, looting the ref, getting that ball into the end zone. He's a physical player. He's not the biggest guy, but he is absolutely fearless, whether it's catching the ball going across the middle, running the ball on the jet sweeps. Doesn't just try and keep that ball horizontal, understands he's got to get in those early vertical seams to make those plays the most effective.
Smoking player of the game. Sponsored by Old Tapper Beef Jerky. Again, what does that say about his ability to handle so much of the offensive load?
Looking at the play. Second down.
Again, not a very big guy, but he's a physical guy. See if Utah State can answer here.
2 consecutive drives, bringing the blitz.
Shelley fires. Pass caught. First down. Derek Wright with his first catch of the evening.
Wright with the first catch. Williams on the coverage there. Defensive coordinator Jeff Schmedding starting to dial up some blitzes, taking some chances. May see one again here. Coming off the slot, position of safety.
That was Canijo. Not much of a running lane for Elion Noah. Past the halfway point of the fourth. And the Aggies, they may have to turn it up to that supersonic pace from a year ago. Really move. Shelley uncorks it. Incomplete. Looking for McGriff.
Markel Reed on the coverage there. Nice job, but that ball's thrown a little bit closer to the hash. Griff going to have a chance to go up and get that one. Just overthrows it a little bit. He's got a little bit excited with that arm. Said, hey, we got a shot here.
Absolutely had that inside step. Instead, 3rd and 10. Aggies have to get to the 40. Noah drilled by Reed. Or rather, Skinner. J.L. Skinner comes up from the safety position. And a sophomore from San Diego lays the hit on Noah.
Trying to go with a little eye candy with the motion here. Run. A little bit surprised with the flow of the game. 7 minutes here. You're down 35-13. You run a play like that on 3rd down unless you're going to go for it on 4th down. But
that was Scott Matlock, by the way. He was just walking off the injured player.
Okay, and that's it. Yeah, and they are coming back out. I was surprised that they would have gone for that or would have run that play on 3rd down unless they were going on 4th down. Looked like they were bringing out punt team initially, but they are keeping the offense on the field.
Junior from Frisco, Texas, trying to convert.
Empty look here.
Timeout, Boise State. They take a look. Yankees will try after timeout.
Boise State, this is their 2nd timeout of the half.
We'll step aside as well. 6:43 to go in the 4th. More from Boise next on FS1. Thursday Night Football features the Falcons and the Panthers. Matt Ryan and company head to Charlotte to face the Panthers. It all starts at 7:30 Eastern on Fox NFL Network and streaming on Amazon Prime. Falcons win over your Vikings most recently. All right, so 1 for 1 today. The only other 4th down try. 5 yards to go for the Aggies. Pass to the boundary. That pass was caught. Was he inbound? And Jordan Nathan was.
The difference what we saw in the first half, wide receivers for Utah State were not winning those one-on-one matchups. Here, Boise State again brings the blitz. You blitz, leave your guys on an island on the outside. Early on in this game, that was a matchup that Boise State was winning almost every single down. Right now, this Utah State wide receiving core is starting to get some separation.
Noah and Canijo combined. Tackle Warren in the backfield. Utah State was shut out at half, trailed 28-0. Scored twice in the 3rd, but Boise State came back with a punch a few minutes ago to extend the lead once again to 3 scores. Timeout, Utah State.
Timeout, Utah State. This is their first timeout of the half.
Gary Anderson's team running out of time. 5:50 to go in the 4th. Boise State rolled at half number 1, shut out the Aggies. Utah State bounced back with back-to-back scores, has the ball down 21. So 2nd and 11. Robert, a timeout call by the Aggies a moment ago. What's going on?
With the score situation in this game, that's where you get in a huddle and you say, what's our best trick play? What's the play where we're going to have some protection to buy some time to drive the ball downfield?
Play fake. Shelley directing traffic. A flag comes in. McGriff makes the catch. Wait on the flag.
You can see Tompkins was driving downfield on that play. They just couldn't get the time. Shelley was trying to roll. And that's, you could see kind of the combination of the personnel there, trying to get heavier personnel. You get a 6 or 7 man.
Number 65 with the offense. 10-yard penalty. We played second down.
6 or 7 man protection scheme to buy yourself a little bit of time. Boise State, very disciplined on the back end, had Tompkins covered up.
Shaw whistled for the holding penalty. By the way, just 2 penalties on either side. So for the season opener, only 4 penalties total.
These guys have traditionally played some pretty clean games. Only 5 turnovers total in the last 4 years coming into this game today.
Time running out for Utah State. Less than 5.5 to go. Shelley on 2nd and 21. Gets a few back on the completion of right. 3rd down and long.
Well, it's 3rd down and long, but you're not punting the ball away on 4th down here. So you want to cut off some of that. Now maybe you try and cut off half of it again. Right? Maybe not driving all the way down to the 1st down marker on this. We're going to have some man coverage here on the outside. Be interesting to see kind of how the safeties rotate on the snap of the ball in this one.
Shelley looking for McGriff. Leaps. Incomplete.
Justin McGriff,
McGriff's turned into his favorite target in the second half. Too tall for the 6'6" receiver.
He really had that ball where he wanted it. Gets that thing up a little bit higher maybe, but Reed on the coverage there. But McGriff's, if you give him an opportunity to go up a little bit higher on that one, maybe catch a little bit cleaner. That's a ball that McGriff needs to catch.
They need the Broncos 48. Clean pocket, strike. That one hits the receiver in his chest. It was Tompkins, falls to the blue turf.
Tyler and Skinner on the coverage there. Nice job. Even if that ball gets completed, probably going to be knocked out.
Yeah, just put the ball and run down.
Look at Skinner come in here.
Separate the man from the ball.
Utah State put up quite a fight in that 3rd quarter. And remember, this Aggies team playing without a pair of defensive starters, playing without their starting tight end Carson Terrell, their starting kicker Connor Coles. A flip to Shakir. Stop me if you've heard that one or seen that one before. Big run. Shakir adding to his total. He's held up on about 150 yards of total offense.
We're going to see that jet motion again. Little pop pass there. That's going to be some passing yardage. Bachmeier will pad the stats a little bit. But that little move by Shakir, a little handover move right there. Doesn't even need a full stiff arm.
It's not a
He makes a nice cut.
Yep. Bachmeier drilled. Was by Ritisona Fata. Rather, Sears took that snap. Might not be a shock if Khalil Shakir is the best receiver in this league as we get to the end of this year. That breakout sophomore season a year ago. 123 yards receiving, plus the 2 scores. 2nd and 9. This is Bachmeier now. Van Buren. Tackled by Moore. As inside the 20, clock continues to roll. Boise State is now a few minutes away from winning its 21st straight conference opener. Ryan Harsin's team went undefeated in elite play last season. Won the conference championship game, just narrowly missed out on a New Year's Six bowl. Wound up playing Washington in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Really a lot of wasted opportunities in that bowl game as well.
Facing his predecessor, Chris Peterson. Garrett rolls to the 13.
6-yard gain.
You know, for Boise State, again, the expectation year after year is always sometimes, hey, win a championship, reach a New Year's Six bowl. What's the outlook like for this team the rest of the way from what you've seen today?
Well, so much uncertainty, obviously.
Right.
What players are going to be available? How many games are actually going to get played? How many games some of those other group of 5 schools are going to get to play? We've got BYU sitting out there. Great matchup.
Shakir just pinballs all over the place. Bounces off of one tackler another and picks up positive yards. The 4th down is converted.
And again, people like to say it's just the little guys at Boise State. Think about all the players that they have in the NFL. 11 straight seasons where they've had at least one player drafted. 9 of those players drafted in the first 2 rounds of the draft. So they get some talent here, and we're seeing some of that talent on display. They know how to pick them.
Plenty of weapons for Bachmeier, including Andrew Van Buren. Touchdown, Boise State. First career score for the sophomore from California.
You watch both of these running backs on film, and they both do such an excellent job with that pad level. Something we talked about earlier. So important down near the goal line that you're running behind your pads, that you're only presenting those pads to the defenders. That's all that they can hit initially, but you get that momentum moving forward after the hit. Get those legs churning, drive it into the end zone.
You bring up a great point, though, about just the amount of uncertainty this season. We know week to week there could be games canceled. Craig Thompson is the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. Said I would not anticipate all 12 teams finishing with 8 games completed at the end of this season. So it is a week-to-week thing. Next up for Boise State is Air Force on the road, BYU on a Friday night after that.
Well, I think that's, that's an opportunity right there. I mean, we got teams sitting out there right now, teams like Marshall. So there's some group of 5 teams that are making a lot of noise. And boy, how do you compare teams with the different schedules that they have, not a lot of common competition, and not all the same number of games at the end of the year?
All right, the Ram Power Players brought to you by Ram Trucks. It's an easy one. Hank Bachmeier and George Holani today. Khalil Shakir was making a play for one of our power players as well. Bachmeier 20 of 28 through the air. 3 passing touchdowns, 1 on the ground. And Holani with another 100-yard game. Now it's going to be a little tougher for him this year to keep that 1,000-yard streak going.
What are you saying, because of Van Buren?
Only 8 games on the schedule. Fewer games than usual.
Good point. Well, you get a bowl game, potentially. Championship
Bowl
game and a bowl
championship game. Could be as many as 10.
See the schedule right there.
We're looking forward to having the Broncos, all their home games on the Fox Sports Airways.
11 and the 6th, that's a Friday. That's going to be a fun one. Boise and BYU on a Friday night.
Bruno DeRose nearly picked that one off. Utah State has been right up there at the top of the conference with Boise State the last couple of years.
And I think that there's it's so great. I mean, and there's no substitute for it. There's no substitute for getting reps on film, getting live reps against another team, and finding out what your team is about. Again, we learned a lot about what this Utah State team is about by the way that they came out and started to play in the second half. Didn't make enough plays to get all the way back in the game, but they certainly didn't quit.
We saw some great flashes from Jalen Warren in the second half. He's poised for another good season. By the way, I mentioned Air Force. Remember, coming up, Air Force and San Jose State next. Alex Faust, Petros Papadakis have that one for you coming up. Immediately following this one, 42 points for Boise State. League's highest scoring team from a year ago. Doing what it usually does. McGriff tags on another catch.
Something that we've talked about a number of times in the broadcast, how important these types of reps are against another team, the live reps, the time in between. Jason Shelley, who hasn't been with this team that long, and his wide receivers.
He gets stamped. Devine Obusheri with his first sack as a Bronco.
Well, and of course, Jason Shelley, wearing that red jersey in practice, you're not taking those hits. That's why quarterback is such a unique position, such a difficult position. I think the most important position in all of sports. The guy's got to be able to stand in, face that down, and still deliver the ball.
Belted down. Roman Kafensis finished him off after the initial hit. You would expect progression from Shelley and this Aggies team. Continue to get further on the same page.
Clearly not the result that you want, but again, the importance of getting those live reps and seeing how guys respond to that adversity is so important. And I think on the other side, you're looking at Brian Harsin and his team. He was concerned they weren't tackling as much. There's an interception there.
Interception for Tyreek LaBeouf. And that's how this one's going to close out. Boise State starts its quest for its 5th Mountain West Conference championship with a win. Begins 1-0.
Well, partner, we made it to a game, right? We didn't know if this day was going to come. These players didn't know if this was going to come, and you could just sense the excitement from both of these coaching staffs that this actually arrived.
An accomplishment in and of itself, no question. Hank Bachmeier, the Broncos, they make it 11 consecutive season openers at home since '97. Enjoyed it, partner. For Robert Smith and our entire great crew, Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long for Boise. Let's head to the studio right now.